every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Brands, the gal who cares for caregivers.
All the caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. On the show where you can find help and hope. That's a mouthful, huh? Whoa. And with me is my best friend, co-host, and sidekick, not sidekick, Lynn Thornley.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, and you know what? It's not so bad out today. It's 91 because we had so much rain.
Yeah.
But my weeds are growing like crazy.
Well, I got all that rain right after I went to the car wash yesterday. You know how that goes. But it was okay.
My car wash is the rain.
Oh, my goodness. So I want to give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Sylvia in Clearwater, Cecilia in Largo, and Kelsey in Dunedin.
Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
That's a different way to spell Kelsey.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of ways to spell Kelsey.
I never knew that.
Sometimes it's Kelsie or Sey.
Sey, I know. And you know, I know if I had a kid, maybe I will.
Yeah.
They're getting a name that they can go buy barrettes with their names on.
Yeah.
None of the, Linda, you could buy anything.
Well, I wonder how Delilah's going to be, my new great-granddaughter. Is that a name that comes back? Like some names come back?
It might be. Like what came back is Ava, Emily, Olivia.
Yeah.
They've all come back.
Well, somebody said to me the other day her new favorite name is Gladys.
Oh my! That's what we used to call Winky's
and
mother.
Sylvia too. I think that's who I was talking to. This woman Sylvia. So who knows? To each his own. So I'm excited to say we have a lot of very cool things going on. Recently, I did a survey of my caregivers and said, "What do you need? What are you looking for?" And the response was, "Linda, we're tired of caregiver burnout, caregiver guilt, dementia, Parkinson's. It's sad. Can you just entertain us?" So I am starting to do stand-up comedy. So please go to my Facebook page, which is Jokester Josie Jones, or Triple J. And I'll be posting a joke every single day. Because I just think we need to lighten up a little bit. And this morning I went to my support group at Arden Courts, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, Linda, thank you for making us laugh." So it's very exciting. In fact, I just booked my first paid engagement with Josie, where I'm going out to the Hamptons on Long Island in January to be like the little entertainment during lunch. So I'm like, what the heck? That could be lots of fun. So please remember, you need to laugh. There's a lot of stuff to laugh about. I mean, the one lady that came to the support group this morning, she said, "I'm so glad to come to this group every month." And she said, because it's the only time I laugh. And I don't normally think of my support groups of where you come to laugh, but I guess you do. So I was really happy about that. So we have our guest, Lori Yauch from Meaningful Memory Maker on the phone. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Linda.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm fabulous, and I'm so happy to have you here today. Lori was a part of our last conference, and I so believe in everything that Lori does because there are many different ways that you can be on this caregiver journey and be on this journey with your loved one. So, Lori, instead of me reading your whole bio, tell our listeners a little bit about you.
Well, I am a recently retired speech language pathologist. I relocated from North Carolina in April after spending 25 years in Southwest Florida, right near you in Tampa. And I have been a speech therapist for 35 years and dedicated 25 years to dementia care, both as a clinician and as an author. As you said, I have a website, meaningfulmemorymaker.com. And what that website does is it showcases personalized books, videos, and that are designed to help families and caregivers connect with their loved ones by sharing old memories, creating new ones, and having a little fun along the way.
Well, and then having that for the future. So recently I've been cleaning out drawers and stuff, and I have a couple of videos. I had somebody come and interview my mother the last 6 months of her life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And if I ever told my mother I was paying them, she'd be like, no way. And she'd be like, so what are you doing this for? I go, just for the fun of it.
Mhm.
And the day of my mother's memorial, she brings me 10 CDs of my mother.
Oh, that's wonderful.
One about her faith, one with me, one with my daughter, one with my sisters. And I can't tell you what a gift that is, because if I'm having a tough day and I just put one of those CDs in and I hear my mother laughing, I'm like, get over it, Linda.
Yeah.
Just get over it.
And
You're
what's nice about those kinds of things, especially the videos and the memory books, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But what's nice about them is that they are portable and they are always available to you.
Yes.
So if you wanted a video for me, I would center it around a specific holiday or event, a birthday and anniversary, a memorial event, and give me some very, very special pictures that you have enjoyed over the years. I'll put it to a special piece of music, and you can play it whenever you want. Play it during the event. Play it whenever you need a little pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Because it is portable, and it's all about them. It focuses on their life and their journey.
Well, I think it's wonderful if you can do this before your loved one passes away.
Absolutely.
So I made a video with my husband, and he was like, I don't want to do this. We knew he was dying. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But we ended up doing it. And we had he didn't want a birthday party. We just had a celebration. And people came, and we played that video while people were there. And people were like, I didn't know he did this. I didn't know this. It just brought a whole big community there just from watching that.
And I think that that's really important as your listeners who are taking care of their loved ones, or if they are caregivers in facilities. I think it's really important that they remember, although the journey is difficult and littered with so many things that they need to do, there's always a task that needs to be done from morning till night. Right. But when they stop and take a breath and all of the tasks are done, and they sit down with their loved one and remember that loved one is a person first. Yes. And that they had a very full life, and a life worth sharing, and a life worth learning about. So that when you take that, whether it's a video greeting, or whether it's a family history or an about book, which we'll talk about, whatever it is, when you sit down and you hold that book and you look at that book and you see all those pictures of everything they did, from wherever you want to start their life history to wherever it ends, you see that is a full and productive life, and not just the pieces of them that need to be taken care of. Well, Lori, everybody has a story. Exactly. And that's one of the things that I love about Meaningful Memory Maker and the books that I write and the videos that I make. I want to tell their story. I want to help them tell their story. And everyone has a story to tell. Oh, definitely. Well, I when we come to the holidays and I talk to my caregivers a lot, you're going to have a family gathering, and maybe mom's dementia, whatever, has progressed, and people come in the house, grandchildren, whatever, and they don't know what to talk to her about. And I say, get a little quiet area for her and just put a box there. And if grandma was a Girl Scout leader, just go online and print out some pictures of Girl Scouts. Exactly. Or if grandma was the best meatball maker, or was born in Brooklyn or whatever, and then you can just pick something out of the box and say, I didn't know you were a Girl Scout leader, grandma. Yeah. And tell me about it. Yeah. Tell me your story. Yeah. And a lot of times, as the process continues, they may not be able to just open-endedly tell their story. So it's really good to have those pictures and say, oh, look, that's you, and that's your husband, Bob, and you were on a trip to Bermuda. What do you know about the warm breezes. What do you know about those things? So they may not be able to recognize specific pictures, but if you identify the individuals for them, they can begin to tell you stories of what they know.
Well, you know what? It's just like having a conversation with someone who has dementia. So my uncle had Alzheimer's. And when I would go to visit him, I'd be like, "Hi, Uncle Jimmy. It's me, Linda, your favorite niece."
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I already told him who I am, that he likes me.
Exactly.
But it makes a big difference.
And when you're thinking of it, and I like the way that you said, "Hi, Uncle Jimmy, it's me, Linda, your favorite." I like that it was very direct, because one of the things you have to remember that when you're speaking with your loved one or your care receiver about anything, you want to keep it simple, because as the process continues, their ability to attend, their ability to process, and their ability to understand diminishes.
Right.
So I always say, keep it simple, sweetie.
Well, I think we should.
Simple.
There's a lot of things in life we should keep simple.
That's nice that you said keep it simple, sweetie, because it's really keep it simple, stupid.
I like sweetie.
Well,
I like
would-
sweetie too. I never heard that before.
It's much kinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's what
and-
kiss is.
Yeah. It's all about, as the process continues, is remembering that however stressed you as a caregiver might be, it's all about keeping that connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what it's all about. We're taking care of people.
That's right.
You know, our
People
most
first.
cherished possessions or relationships or whatever. And that's so very important.
Exactly.
You know, when you're saying slow down, I want people to slow down, and I want them to sit next to their loved one.
Yeah.
I want them to take their hand or rub their arm, and I want them to look into their eyes and talk to them, because we get so busy as caregivers. We're running around. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing that. And they can't even grasp half of what we're doing.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that you want to keep in mind too, as a communication approach, depending upon where they are in their journey and how much they can understand, you want to be able to approach them in that direct manner, looking at them, but also telling them exactly what you're going to do to diminish that fear.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is ways we have to educate our families, because they don't know. And since they don't know, then they don't do anything, because they also have a fear on their end.
Yeah. And they begin, and when they don't understand, again, they have that sense of, I just have so much to do to take care of my loved one or my care receiver. And I have to do this at 8 o'clock. I have to do this at 9 o'clock. I have to take care of this. You know, we have to go to the doctor. We have to do this. There's always a have to. And it begins when you're not sure how to communicate with that individual just is a list of things that need to be done.
Yeah. So maybe we put on our schedule, I have to spend a half hour just chatting with mom.
Exactly. Just
put it on there.
Sit down in that nice quiet place.
Yeah.
With a nice quiet piece of music, if that's what calms them down and focuses them. Grab that memory book. Grab that classic movie musical that they enjoy so much. Put it in and let's talk about it.
But you know, one of my caregivers said to me, "Oh, my mother bucked everything I did. She fought everything I did." People talked about music, and one day I put on YouTube big band music. She goes, "My mother's attitude changed in a minute."
Yep.
A minute. So she says every morning now when mom gets up and it's time to do our daily brushing our teeth, bathing, whatever, she puts on big band music.
Exactly.
And her mom is like, "Yeah, I'll brush my teeth. Watch me brush my teeth while I'm dancing."
Exactly. Nothing better than a little Glenn Miller to start the day.
Yeah. You know, and I had another caregiver. I just love this story. He takes care of his aunt, and she was having sundowners every day. And she was also having issues with eating. So what he does every afternoon, right around sundowners time, he makes these little tiny like party sandwiches.
Oh, I love those.
Yes, it has like a little like sparkling cider with it, and she has her little sandwiches, and they dance. They dance to music.
Oh, is that wonderful?
So he goes. So every afternoon we dance like 45 minutes, and we have no more issues. And the neighbors say we get so much joy just watching you guys through the windows dance.
Well, that's spooky.
But really,
It is. That is.
so where can our listeners find you?
You can find me at meaningfulmemorymaker.com and LKYMAM1 at Verizon.net.
Okay, I'm going to put all the information in the show. We're not done yet. I just wanted to add that in because the time flies and we don't say it.
Absolutely.
So tell me a fabulous success story.
Well, actually, it came about during the pandemic. I was working at an assisted living facility. And in fact, the assisted living facility had hired me to write one of my memory books called the About Book. And the About books are special because the front part of the book tells about what the individual needs are, what they can and cannot do, and how they communicate.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why this is good is as the journey continues, as a caregiver, sometimes you don't know how to approach that individual because you don't know what their abilities are.
Right.
So the first part of that book is
finding the abilities.
Yeah. Defining the ability and, again, what they can and cannot do, what they like and what they don't like, which is really, really key because you want to be able to approach them and give them something that they like so that they're more able to do things for you and with you. So that was the first part. And then the second part is all about me, reminiscence through pictures. So picking out those 30 pictures that tell the story of their life.
Yeah.
And help you, again, seeing them as that whole person.
Right.
So
like,
anyway,
Dad, I never knew that you were in the military.
Exactly. And so as I'm writing these books for this community, right around 2019, 2020, and of course the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And one of my ladies was in her late 90s, and she was separated from her family because obviously you can't visit assisted living facilities or anywhere except through a pane of glass.
Yeah.
But this lady had her memory book, and she carried it with her all around the facility.
Oh.
And everyone who she came in contact with, she would want to show this book.
Yeah.
Or when the caregivers came by her, they would say, "Oh, show me your book." So now when a caregiver approaches her, it's not because there's a problem and it's not because there's a need. It's because I want to know about it.
Because they're interesting.
Exactly. So this young lady at 98 years old is showing off her memory book to anybody who wanted to see it, and she was telling her story, and she was a very happy person during a very sad time.
Yeah.
And her family said that when she became agitated or upset and she could not reach her family, her caregivers would open up this book for her and with her and either have her sit in quiet space or sit with her and use that book to calm her down and center her. And it was just such a joy and a relief to her family who was separated from her that she had this so that they could still feel that connection.
Well, years ago, I'm talking like 20 years ago, I had a book made for my dad. And it was all photos of his life and quotes. And there was like a couple of things in there in his handwriting and everything. And if he would go to the hospital in an ambulance, he would take that book with him.
Yeah. And that's basically what I want people to be able to do, is to have something portable that they can take with them wherever they go so that everyone they meet knows about them.
Yeah.
And they don't have to know about technology.
Exactly.
Because I have a lot of my parents on video, And
Mhm.
I had them switch to that disky thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to work
Yeah.
the machine.
Yeah. Well, I just had all my stuff on CDs put on zip drives.
That I
'Cause
wouldn't know either.
I don't know it
Yeah.
either.
I'm having mine put on a book.
Yeah.
No, it's like
Yeah.
you always
Yeah,
say.
maybe you should do that.
Yeah, you take your photos and send
Yeah.
people pictures.
Well, you'll have to talk to Lori. Maybe you can make a book.
Absolutely. I would love to. I'd love to work with you and help you in any way I
That
can.
would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool to have
Because
that of
I
your
really
parent.
don't understand all that stuff. Oh, that one time is very funny. We got the CDs made, and Linda's husband and my husband, they were both gone. And we put it on with the grandson, but the language was just.
Yeah, it was a planned CD.
So I never watched any of them.
But wouldn't it be nice, like, if you had that book to give to your nieces,
Of course.
your nieces' children, because they don't know the family history.
Exactly.
You know, they're
But I love it that it's a book and not technology.
yeah, yeah. I think
Not
that's
that
really
I'm
important.
old.
Well,
But I ain't young.
And remember that the generation that is experiencing, that is on their journey and experiencing all these changes, is not that far removed from your parents' generation.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, and although technology was coming about, it wasn't prevalent like it is now.
Right.
So it's all about those memories, and it's all about what you can hold.
Yeah, because technology changes every week,
Yeah.
but pictures
right.
are there forever.
Exactly.
As long as you don't use a Polaroid.
Yeah.
True.
They were very cool in the day, though.
Yeah, but they fade.
Yeah, but they were cool.
Yeah.
I look good in the faded ones.
So do I.
Yeah, I know. We look good, right?
So, Lori, thanks so much for being with us today. What is the last thing you want our caregivers to know, and give us the information where they can find you again, please?
I want caregivers to know that although the journey is fraught with all kinds of sad issues and stress issues, that there is joy to be found when you look to reminisce.
When
And
you
when-
make time for it.
Exactly. Make time for it and find the joy in reminiscence. Find the joy in going to where your care receiver is, and relish in wherever they are, whatever level they're at. Relish in their abilities and use the reminiscing tools, the videos, the memory books, the classic movie musical.
Yeah.
Grab my guide at meaningfulmemorymaker.com that tells you how to use a classic movie musical to promote communication and engagement in another fun way. But find those moments and relish in them, because as hard as the journey is, you need to find the joy. And my perspective is that the joy is in the reminiscence.
Yep. Thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Have a delicious day.
You too.
And now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help, because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? You know, getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our office has helped families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. That was really fun talking with Lori. I really love all that. You know me. I love all the reminiscent stuff. I love the photos. I love photo albums.
Where is she located? Do you know?
Not around here.
No, well, she'd be here.
Yeah. I'd have to look it up. So we have some events coming up I want to let you know about. It's called the Savvy Caregiver Class, and it's sponsored by Area Agency on Aging. So the Savvy Caregiver Program is an evidence-based training program designed to support informal caregivers about Alzheimer's, dementia, and practical skills and strategies and knowledge. So it's a 6-week program and it's free. And it's at the Sunshine Center in St. Pete. And it's from September 4th to October 9th, Thursdays from 4:30 to 6:30. So if you're interested in this, you can contact the Sunshine Center in St. Pete. So please take advantage of the different things that are available. Also, I haven't talked about this for a while, but there is a program called Diapers for Dignity. It breaks my heart that maybe some caregivers cannot afford incontinence supplies. So there's a program called Diapers for Dignity, and you can get free diapers for your loved one through the Disability Achievement Center. So you can call them at 727-539-7550 because nobody should have to go through that. Also, there are a lot of Parkinson's programs at the Palms of Largo. There's the Rock Steady Walking class, Parkinson's support group, strength and exercise class. Please take advantage of these. You can call the Palms of Largo at 727-385-9881. I'm very excited. They're going to be part of the virtual conference in November. And we're going to go do a whole thing on Parkinson's. So hello, Lisa. How are you today? Please put your headphones on. So our next guest just walked into the show, Lisa Seward. So how are you doing today?
Better now that I'm here.
That's a good thing now that you're here. So I've known Lisa for many years, and Lisa is a licensed massage therapist. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
I'm a licensed massage therapist. In 1990, I became licensed. But before that, I was in elementary and early childhood education at Buffalo State College. I worked with migrants. I've worked with children with learning problems. And I came to Florida because I had a calling for massage therapy. At Buffalo State College, I learned about touch. And
How important it is.
I took a class called Brainstorming, how to think outside the box. And it taught me how to manifest, which I didn't even realize it was even a gift, knowing how to do that back then. 'Cause
Right.
I was not that type of person at
Well,
all.
I want my grandchildren to learn everything I learned after 50.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so I was so excited when I learned this because they took us down to a weekend retreat where I learned how to massage the hands, the feet, the back, and the face. Someone massaged my face. It felt like I had A-whites all over my face. And if I would have opened my eyes, my face would have cracked. I was so relaxed. I went back to my suite mates in college and they said, can I rub your I said, can I rub your temples just before you go to bed? And they go, sure. And they would tell me it was the best sleep they ever had. And I said,
I love when I get a massage and they touch my face.
yeah. So for me, that was really exciting because I came from a family that didn't touch or hug you or say, I love you. So I didn't even know I was missing it.
Right. Right.
So I gave that up and moved back home after college. And I just had to bring that touch back. And so I started touching family. I was working in a migrant program in Medina, New York. And one of the teachers says, I can't go after my dream. Why don't you go after yours? And she gave me a book on shiatsu. So I started working on myself and it was so relaxing. I started working and then all of a sudden I worked on my ski club friends from 1985 to 89. I said, instead of me shaking your hand, let me massage your upper shoulder, neck, and face. So I did that for 20 minutes on each person.
And they're like,
and the one person,
thank you.
The one person I did it on, she had TMJ. I didn't know. I massaged her face and she stopped grinding her teeth for 4 days.
Wow.
She went back to her dentist and she goes, I want the massage thing. And she said, no, I got drugs for you. She goes, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And every time she saw me, will you work on my face? So I did. And so all before I knew it, I was building clientele. And I was planning on going back to New York. But then when I graduated at Suncoast School of Massage Therapy, I said, okay, if I get a job in Florida, I will stay. The next week, I got a job working in a chiropractor's office. So if you put it out there, I guess the universe is listening.
Yeah.
So it was so exciting to be here in Florida and because they told me, Lisa, we have stress here.
Yeah. So who are the people you work with now? Like, how can you help our listeners?
Well, I can help because my work can either be done in person or distantly.
Okay, so that's good to know.
So if you're homebound, you can have help. And so can the people in your house. So you don't have to sit just back and be in pain. That is a choice. We have to learn that we can have help.
Or be in stress because you were a caregiver for your dad.
I did that for many years and my aunt. I had two people to take care of, and they both had some memory issues. But because my background's elementary ed, and I used to
could work with it.
I designed games. I worked with an inventor who worked for Fisher Price. She was a Fisher Price inventor.
Wow.
And I learned these skills, how to make toys. And I used to do well baby clinics and bring the toys in so mothers could do this with their children, recycled products. It was really a lot of fun.
That is fun.
So I really love that. And so I designed games.
Your own little program.
I did. I kept the caregiver for my father. I had like stations where he would go around and he would play. Like every photograph, you turn around and you write the name and that's the flashcard. So he could remember who that person was.
Yeah.
And because we want to keep the memory going, we don't want it to stop because we stop and we don't think. And we're done, right?
Yeah.
We want to play. So I took a cereal box and I cut it into 16 pieces.
And had him put it together like a puzzle.
And I put the three pieces because he's something he's familiar with, the checkbox box, right? He knew that every morning.
Well, that's when they used to read on the back of the box when they ate their cereal for breakfast.
So then I said, okay, I put these 3 pieces together. And he goes, I know how to do that. He had dementia. We put the 3 pieces, and then he would do 16.
Familiarity.
Right. 16 pieces, 24, 48, 100-piece puzzles. He would sit there for an hour and a half and do these techniques.
Because you brought him back in his comfort zone also. That's a big thing of bringing them back in their comfort zone.
Right. And so I did that with him, and it was so exciting because he was my playmate, and now I'm his.
Yeah.
And if I had someone who would come in, if I wasn't there, I would make them play too.
As we should.
That's right. I said, I wish they were, I had Lincoln Logs. I grew up with those, but I wanted, because he liked to build things and create. He was a creative person too. So.
Well, it's funny. I had a caregiver years ago in my group, and her mother passed away. And she came back to me and she said, ever since my mom passed away, my dad just sits in the chair.
Uh-huh.
They were married for 48 years. They did everything together. She goes, I took him to the doctor. The doctor gave him an antidepressant, but I think he's going to die in that chair, Linda. So I said, tell me about something he used to do when he was younger. He said he used to build these big model ships. I said, could he still do that? She said, no, his hands are kind of arthritic. I said, you want to try something? She said, I'll try anything. I said, go to Michael's store. They have these cars. There's like 7 pieces to put them together. Buy a dozen. Tell Dad, could you possibly paint these and put them together for the nursery school?
Oh, wow.
So he woke up every morning with a purpose.
That's right.
And before he died, he had sent out, I don't know, 75 dozen to different schools. Kids were videoing him, sent him thank you notes. And I said to her, that probably got a little bit expensive, huh? And she said, guess what? It was cheaper than what I was paying for that antidepressant.
That's right. That's right.
Crazy.
I always make Dad, we would buy the rotisserie chicken. I said, you get to carve it. Always gave him a job, or if I need help.
Yeah, give him a job.
Yeah. I said, you have to do the potatoes, peel. I fractured my wrist, and I says, I need another hand. I can't do it by myself.
Well, if we take everything away from them because it's easier for us, then we took everything away from them.
That's right.
Depends on the person. I wouldn't have handed my husband a knife.
No.
But for him, it was great because he wanted to be helpful. He didn't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
And they has a purpose.
Well, you have to find something that relates to them.
Right.
You know, like my mom would come over the house. She'd be like, is there anything I can do for you, Linda? And I go, there's some laundry there if you want to fold it. And she goes, I don't want to do that. And then 10 minutes later, anything I can do? I go, there's a couple of dishes in the sink. I don't want to do that. But my mother was a legal secretary, and that was a big deal for her in the day.
Uh-huh.
So I went to Staples, and I bought 500 envelopes, and I printed out 500 phony letters and 500 phony labels. I was like, Mom, if you could stuff these and put these labels on, you know, it would mean so much to me. And it took her 5 days a week watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. But when she handed it to me, she was so proud that she helped me.
And I have a djembe drum.
Have a what?
A djembe. It's a special drum that has like goat skin on top and fur around it, and a drum that you beat.
Okay.
And I had one. My dad had rhythm. He had like sound. He could just like do what he was doing.
Really?
I didn't even know he knew it, but music was in his family background. His mother was a music teacher.
Oh, wow.
So, but he never, and he only knew one piano song, but if you know piano, you can do it. But
Right.
So, but he could do that drum, and I would see him like, oh my God, he just had that gift.
That's cool.
But he didn't really, I would give him time to practice and play and he's an avid reader, all the books. So John Grinsom, he's read all those books.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
Yeah.
So what's some of the advice you want to give to our caregivers today?
That everybody can get well. Pain doesn't have to be your friend. You can learn to let go of that. And there's so many different ways. The reason I do the body talk work is because we work on the whole person. We don't let you, it was the best thing when I was caregiving to have that done on me, because I had so much pain in my shoulders and neck and stress, all the things I was doing. And I just needed some relief. So don't ever just say you can't get well.
Well, and try something, because, you know, years ago you did body talk on me. I had the problem. I used to get a herpes lip. You remember that?
Yeah.
And one time I had this like huge damn lip, and it was hurting the heck out of me. And I went to Lisa, and she did body talk, and I came out of there and my lip was down.
She was in shock.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Thank God I don't get that.
You haven't had that for years.
No, thank
and
goodness.
years.
And what people tell me is it doesn't come back.
Well, I think the thing is, too, that you
Your
start to
stress.
learn how to manage your stress.
Right.
You start to see what your triggers are.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you see that with your clients.
Right. I've had clients. This guy once had like a knot on the bottom of his elbow. He's supposed to have surgery. I said, let's just try this treatment. I never saw him. Like, I did 2 treatments, never saw him again. I go, how was your surgery? Oh, I never had to have it. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be singing from the rooftop about that.
Yeah.
My husband years ago, because he was hammered a lot and everything, it was kind of like tennis elbow or something, and they wanted him to have surgery. And I'm talking about 40 years ago. And he went to a chiropractor in our town, and he didn't need any surgery.
Right.
What else do you want our listeners to know?
I had a yoga teacher and massage therapist. She had met through a mutual friend at Whole Foods. I used to do chair massage there. And she said I had chronic dizziness. So I worked with her only 3 treatments and she was gone. And then she was able to do a headstand. She goes, first time ever. You know, it's amazing how fast we can really get well if we can just find what the imbalance is.
Yeah.
And find the root cause. And then we find the solution that maybe it's not in Western medicine, it's in the combination of Eastern and Western medicine to find out the whole person, not just chasing a symptom or giving it a drug or a diagnosis.
Right, just not masking it.
Right. We were finding out what is really going on.
Because that's what you do with drugs. Mask, 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 mask. And then we're going to give you 10 pills. And they're all interacting. And they're giving you diarrhea and everything else.
Right. They give you side effects. Well,
yeah.
And this is really exciting because this works on tapping too, where once we build this formula or story in your body that wants balance, we will tap the left and right hemisphere of your brain. You tap your heart because you want to store it back in your body when you want to digest and assimilate life. But a lot of people will get stuck. Either we've had trauma, a loss, we don't know how to move forward. Simple, gentle techniques like this can help shift that. And how people say, well, how can you do a massage long distance? I don't understand that. And it's not because I'm not doing massage. What I'm doing is I'm calibrating a body with a yes and no.
Okay.
So that means that some people call that muscle testing.
Okay.
And we call it in body talk neural muscular biofeedback. So it's a feedback where you're finding yes and no's. And when we find this area where the body is weak, then we help to bring that communication back to the body. So maybe
communication.
Right. My father had like swallowing issues. And I would help him and he would swallow back. He was able to swallow again. People think that's not possible. Or if you really maybe had head injury, maybe you need to relink your brain. It helps with neuroplasticity so the brain can relearn. We don't have to suffer. And it's really great for people who are creative. We get maybe
it's like wake up.
Writer's block. And sometimes we don't know how to put it all together. But maybe if you had a session, it would help. I always recommend people having 3 sessions because then if it's not going to happen.
Didn't happen overnight.
Right. And also, like I worked on the guy who, Achilles tendon issue. He had gone to all the doctors over on the East Coast of Florida. Nothing would help it. So I only did 2 treatments on him. The first one, I worked on him and I just did the body talk for finding the links that need to be balanced. He said it feels 98% better. He said, but you didn't even touch it. And then I worked on it with massage because I like to integrate it when it's necessary. Right. And they never saw him again. So it's really nice that you can help somebody so quickly and they can get well.
And without drugs.
Without drugs, naturally, how does the body want you to get to be balanced and not be in fight and flight? Because a lot of times when some loss happens, you're just like, take my breath away. Yeah. But you don't have to live that journey.
So what's the last thing you want our listeners to hear from you today?
I want to teach them one technique that they can do. And there's such great benefits with this one technique. And it's called the cortices technique. And we can all do it together.
Okay.
So we're going to place your hand on the back of your head. Then you're going to tap your left and your right hemisphere of your brain. And you're going to keep the intention that you're doing that. It's so important. Intention. Then you're going to tap your sternum, which is your breastbone, in the middle of your chest. And then you're going to tap your belly button. And you're going to breathe deep and out through your mouth. And then we raise our hand one width up behind our head and repeat. Guess what? You get to repeat again. Move your hand up one width again. Repeat. And so you have to move this hand up. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, each width, one width up.
Okay.
So you're okay. Okay. Yeah. You're doing it right then. Okay.
You're good.
I'm paying attention.
And then you keep moving it up until you get to your forehead. Depends on how big your hand is. We get to our forehead. Breathing in and out. And you could do it on yourself, or you could do it on a family member, or you could teach it to your children. Because then now they have a way to relax.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you all the great benefits.
I'm going to do that tonight.
No, we're not done.
When I'm naked.
Okay, and so we're going to place your hands above your ears. And you're going to think about your left and right hemisphere as you're banging together. Your fingers are together because you want to get all the space above that. That's your limbic brain. So breathe into that. You're thinking about your left and right hemisphere, your brain linking together. Then you tap. And you can even tap above the air because the body feels that. And tap your sternum and your belly button. And just see how you feel. And the benefits are it's going to help you with mental clarity and help you with relaxation, helps to balance the left and right hemisphere of your brain. It takes you out of fight and flight.
How do you feel? Calm?
Yeah.
She looks calm. She almost didn't answer me.
I think it's time for a
I know.
commercial.
Well, what's the last thing you want our listeners to hear today? Where can they find you?
I'm located in Dunedin within the Stillwater Wellness Center.
Okay.
It's at 1130 Pinehurst Road, Suite D3, Dunedin, Florida, 34698.
Your phone number?
727-485-5870.
Perfect.
It helps you to be living in tune to your true nature, peace, love, and light.
Okay, and I'll put all that information in the show, but right now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
We believe the power of the human body and mind can do amazing things, and that tapping into that power, not just tricking it with a temporary disguise, is possible. Superpatch technology uses a special pattern and vibrotactile technology to help you go from feeling blah to hurrah. Now, once the Superpatch is in contact with your skin, it triggers a neutral response in the brainstem that helps you tackle your daily problems head on. Whether you're struggling with pain, balance, stress, or focus, we have a solution that might be right for you. With Superpatch's 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. I started using the Liberty Patch over 3 years ago. I used to be a tripper, but since wearing the Liberty Patch, I haven't tripped once. The Liberty Patch is proven to reduce the risk of falling by up to 8 times. And as we all know, if you prevent the fall, you prevent the call. Don't wait until it's too late. Preventative solutions are the answer.
Superpatch does not claim to diagnose, treat, or cure illness. Superpatch is FDA registered. To receive 25% off your first order, go to sticktoit.info. That's sticktoit.info and learn more.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. You know, I love my super patches. So this morning I was doing a support group, and one of the ladies was there, said, her friend is like walking with a walker and she's like crunched over and everything. She's like, try the patch. No, forever. She goes, the other day she was at her house and she goes, I'm just putting this patch on you. And the lady got up to go to the bathroom, and when she came out, she didn't need her walker. I was like, oh my goodness. So if you want any information about that, just contact me. Go to my website, lindaburhans.com, nominate a caregiver for the caregiver conference. It takes you like 2 minutes.
Contest.
Everyone who's sorry. conference contest. Anyone who nominates someone, they will receive a gift from me. Every single person that's nominated. And then once a quarter, we pick out one winner just randomly, and they get a big gift basket with respite care and massage and facial and gift cards and a whole bunch of stuff. But every caregiver that's nominated, their heart is just full because nobody thinks about them.
I nominate myself every week, so I get gifts.
So tune in next week for another fabulous show. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.